Next on BYU Sports Nation, the long wait is over. Game day is here. BYU-Utah goes down tonight at LaVell Edwards Stadium.
We're trying to break the curse, the streak, with members of the 2009 team on the show today, Dennis Pitta, Max Hall, and Brandon Bradley.
It's been a decade since BYU understood victory in the rivalry. So isn't it about time? Let's go!
So it's second down and 10 for BYU. Four-man rush. Throwing it over the middle. It's caught. Andrew George. Touchdown BYU. Zach sees pressure. Dumps it off to Bushman. Bushman makes the catch at the 50. The 49 needs the 48. Did he get there? They mark him back and they say no. Shotgun snap to Shelley. The redshirt freshman takes a knee, and Utah takes 8 straight in the rivalry.
We feel like we're carrying all of BYU, all the fans on our back, and this losing streak has to stop.
This is BYU Sports Nation, brought to you by the BYU Store, simulcast on BYUtv and BYU Radio. Now from Studio B, here's Spencer Linton and Jerem Jordan.
Hey! Woo! Studio LaVell Edwards Stadium.
Game day!
BYU Sports Nation is live. Your day-to-day play-by-play presented by the BYU Store, the official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. Happy Thursday.
Look at this.
August 29th.
Oh, man. We arrived.
It's so great to be back.
We arrived. It's a special time and place to be in LaVell Edwards Stadium. There's only 6 games a year. Stadium of Fire, maybe a couple scrimmages. I mean, it's special to be here, and I can't believe we made it. I can't believe we made it.
Wherever and however you are connected with us, great to have you. I am Spencer Linton, teamed up with the man who likes to party like it's 2009, Jerem Jordan.
That was the last time that BYU beat Utah. I can't believe it's been that long. That has been just the worst streak of all time. But guess what, people? It's time to party. Hit it.
Countdown to the Utes.
It's game day!
Woo! Let's go!
Yeah!
Release the balloons!
These are red. Therefore, I think we need to expel them from the set. So
Beat on Utah. Beat on Utah red.
I think someone's going to be unhappy that I do this, but yeah, this is going
Chucking
that way.
it?
Yeah.
Chucking it?
Yeah.
All right, let's chuck them.
No, I
See you
like
later.
completely off. I just
See
threw
you
it like
later.
30 feet off the set here. You had a play where the ball was thrown to you behind the line of scrimmage against Northern Illinois.
Yep.
And I think your guys need to block for you better on that play. What do you think of that play?
Right. Not to call out anyone, but James MP. No. No, it was originally designed to be run against Hawaii. It was called Rainbow Warrior. But we kept it in the game plan for the next week, and they called it down the goal line, and I was like, let's go. I was kind of nervous, but I was excited, you know.
Listen, you made a guy miss.
Right.
Okay, so Zach gives you the ball. This is a rush. We got look at whoop.
Right.
You get around. Yes. James Empey misses a block. You are absolutely correct. Wow.
People were giving me grief. They were like, how did you not make one guy miss? And I was like, I did.
I made a guy miss.
Hey, one is more than you should make miss. Let's be honest.
Right, look at that.
Wow. That was skilled. My number one issue with the Toledo game is that Jake Oldroyd missed 2 field goals. Now, he was not feeling well this week, and that certainly played an issue. But if you're going to play, you got to go make those field goals. He was 10 of 11 coming into the game. He misses those 2. Those are big. Let's walk through what they could have meant. If he makes both in the second quarter, BYU's up 13-3. Hefo's touchdown would have made it 20-3. What happens with the Toledo offense at that point? They start passing the ball a little more. And they weren't that good throwing the rock, right? Instead, it's 7-3. It becomes 14-3. But Toledo still has that great third quarter, 220 yards of total, 11 points in the third. Outscored BYU 14-0 in the fourth. Okay. Other notes, third and short you mentioned. 3 penalties for 20 yards on third down, by the way. Also, BYU's +2 in turnover margin and loses the game. You can't lose a game when you're +2. And what's up with BYU turning the ball over and it leading directly to a score or to the 2-yard line? What's up with that? 2 against Utah, 1 against Washington, and then in this game, the game-winning score is an interception. BYU being aggressive. I don't fault BYU for being aggressive with 1:10 left. BYU could have probably kneeled it out and gone to OT, which has actually been how BYU's won their 2 games this year. But I liked the move to be aggressive, but unfortunately it led to a pick and a return all the way down to the 2. And even then, BYU gets the ball to the 40, has a shot. Jaron Hall's got to keep that Hail Mary throw inbounds, right?
How
I
much
was
more?
down. Right.
We only needed one of those.
I only needed one, but I had a couple of them.
Should be a 7-game losing streak. Dang it.
Maybe I should just went down. I was pretty determined to score.
You had seen Gennaro Guilford no one try and house one, even though he should have gone down 2. And that was the issue, right?
That was. He rubbed off on me.
Yeah.
You be the judge, those watching at home. Was Brandon Bradley's knee down in 2010?
No. This isn't a discussion. Our audience agrees his knee was down, right?
Down.
Come on.
Down.
Come on.
Down.
Andrew George blocking. Nice.
Down.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Some experts' opinion have the best defensive line in the entirety of college football.
That's where it starts, right? If you can get a push with those 3 or 4 guys, Bradley and I, John Penicina, Leki Fotu, and then former BYU signee Mika Tafua. Fantastic. Those guys are really good. I think BYU is underrated on the D-line. Hopefully they get a little more push. As I mentioned in the first hour, Elias Tuyaki, defensive coordinator for BYU, said on Coordinator's Corner Monday that BYU is going to have to get a good push with 3 sometimes, meaning they're going to make Tyler Huntley throw the rock.
Stock is high in BYU's offensive line. Can't wait to watch the matchup against Utah's defensive line there. Yes, it is advantage Utah with 3 future NFL guys, maybe more. At number 7, a guy who went to his high school, Max Hall.
Yeah, absolutely. Mountain View. 32 wins. The winningest quarterback in BYU history. Max Hall joined the program recently. Beat Utah twice. That matters. Dynamic group of 3 and 4 with Dennis Pitta, Austin Collie, Harvey Unga. Still hates Utah. Still hates them. He had 3 3,000-yard passing seasons. That's incredible. Not everybody on this list had 3 seasons to be the guy. Max did, and he took full advantage. All 3 seasons, top 25 finishes, 3,000 passing yards, 10-plus wins. Boom.
Like we hear David Nixon talk about that run between 06 and 08 when BYU didn't lose a home game.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was John Beck, and then
18
Max
and 0.
Hall was the quarterback for 2 of those seasons.
Yeah, Max was awesome, dude. He
Power 5 win in his first ever start against Arizona.
beat a top 5 team, right?
Was
Oklahoma.
BYU ever unranked when Max Hall was the quarterback?
Well, everything. I mean, I think you evaluate all of it, and there's no one that's immune from getting criticism, myself included. And so I'm looking at the whole gambit of it all and being able to, evaluate everything from my decisions to all the way down from the coaching staff to the players. So all that's being evaluated. We got a bye week next week, and looks like we'll be having a new quarterback for that next game. So we got to be ready to go.
Okay, can you give us an update on Zach's thumb situation? We noticed he was hurt and he was holding on to it. So what's the status there?
Well, we don't know the exact timeline on the injury, but we know that looking like right now that Jaron Hall will be our quarterback when we go to South Florida. I don't know the details. We're still evaluating all that right now.
Now joining us live from Toledo, Ohio, is Spencer Linton. Spencer, how is Toledo this morning?
Gentlemen, the Glass City is beautiful on the banks of the Mame River. Happy to be with you as BYU gets set for another big road game and in the tricky Eastern time zone.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So second game on the road, second Eastern time zone game, first group of 5 team.
When Zach Wilson took over the reins as the BYU quarterback last season, he became the youngest quarterback ever to start a game for the Cougars. In 7 games started by Wilson, his 65.9 completion percentage was the highest of any Cougar quarterback in Independence, with a minimum of 175 attempts. With Zach Wilson at the helm, could quarterback U be back at BYU? Let's look at just the stats. Through 7 starts, Wilson threw 11 touchdowns for 1,514 yards and only 3 interceptions. His 11 touchdowns in his first 7 starts are more than BYU legends Steve Young and Jim McMahon, who each threw for 10 touchdowns in their first 7 starts, while his 65.9% completion percentage trumps names such as Young, McMahon, Detmer, Bosco, Hall, and Beck in their first 7 starts, and Wilson's 3 interceptions are less than all 6 BYU greats. In their first full seasons as starting quarterbacks, these 6 BYU legends each threw for 3,000-plus yards, 20-plus touchdowns, and a completion percentage of over 60%. For Wilson, a 3,000-yard season would only be the second for BYU in Independence, and 20-plus touchdown season would break a 3-year drought for Cougar quarterback. However, since Independence began in 2011, there has only been 1 season where 1 quarterback has started every game for the Cougars in a season. This season, BYU has 5 quarterbacks listed on the roster, 3 of whom have seen game action: Wilson,
sophomore Joe Critchlow and redshirt freshman Jaron Hall. Hall went 12 for 14 for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns in the spring game. He is expected to begin the season as Wilson's backup. Whether this season holds one true starter throughout the season or multiple, BYU is not lacking in depth